In the weeks that followed, Alex streamed his footage on his website and released it as a sell-through video. It immediately became an underground blockbuster, a bestseller. Everywhere I looked, the internet was aflame with news of the daring raid.
First off, I wanted to draw your attention to the program that was given out to the spectators or the viewers. The figure of a human body burning in the flames. In fact, I've shown it to people that are experts in anatomy. They say that the anatomical size is that of a baby or small child. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is from the program itself given out to the establishment lackeys witnessing the sinister activities. Now, most Austinites have already seen the cremation of Care, the world leaders, the satanic ceremony, Moloch the owl, all of that, the revived Canaanite cult for 128 years in Northern California with the good Christian conservatives running it. Well, when the film came out in England, the version they put out for my footage, they had Harry Shearer, movie star, the voice of Mr. Burns on The Simpsons, basically shilling for them to say, oh, I've been there, it's no big deal. Oh, so the world leaders, George Bush and Henry Kissinger and Dick Cheney and the heads of IBM and the World Bank and the IMF go. Oh, this Alex Jones, you know, he goes and bullhorns Bush. It's just fraternal fun. Don't make a big deal out of it. And then all the so-called liberals, the people that protest the Grove, started criticizing me, saying the occult stuff didn't even go on inside there. And the newspaper, finally, locally in California, covered it. They've ignored it for a full year. Why? We're going to answer those questions. Very, very important to understand exactly what's happened in our society. Why don't they want to talk about the occult ramifications of this? And then why do they conduct their own ceremony?
This is up, right here. We got him on tape. This is how George Bush dresses. Right here when he's in the Bohemian Grove. He is nothing but a Luciferian twit. A Luciferian twit, Bush.
It didn't matter what my interpretation was. Alex has 8 million listeners. There are millions out there who, like Alex, absolutely believe that the men at Bohemian Grove are the satanic secret rulers of the world.
We have the videotape. This is a massive story. One of the stories of the century. One of the stories of the century.
Alex's infiltration has made him a bigger star than ever, but he says he won't rest on his laurels. He says this is a war, and he won't stop until the New World Order are wiped off the face of the earth.
Now, in July of 2000, I snuck into the Grove, caught the first ever video images of the rumored satanic ceremony, and it is just that. Any occult expert agrees, plus they call the owl by its demonic name. Finally, a year later, the news blackout in the United States, it's been a big story over in England and Europe, finally broke. And this time in the local newspaper for Santa Rosa, the weekly equivalent of Austin's Chronicle, the Bohemian. And with the old textbook example of a Grover with hot blondes in a hot tub, or dancing around naked with Illuminati pyramids with dancing girl legs and G-strings. I mean, it's just asinine, making a joke out of it. Okay, there is a secret elite. Okay, there is an Illuminati, but they're dancing around naked. They're idiots. Don't worry. Ha, ha, ha. They poo-pooed it. But then they got flat out mean inside the article, glorifying the occult protesters outside the Grove. And I read, Bohemian Grove is a prime example of how America's power elite make crucial decisions about the world behind an anti-democratic veil of secrecy. But working against more serious purposes, she says, is the lurid reputation the Grove has acquired. Rumors have graduated to full-blown urban legends. The wildest allegation is that the annual gathering is a demonic ceremony in which virgins and or children are sacrificed to dark supernatural powers. The satanic conspiracy theory is hotter than ever since a Texas radio host named Alex Jones snuck into the Grove last year. Jones smuggled out video footage of the cremation of Care ceremony, an annual ritual in which an effigy is burned to represent the death of dull responsibility. For Jones, it was irrefutable proof of Satanism. Of course, he also believes secret UN soldiers are preparing to conquer the United States. Yeah, but there's no secret of it. And there's no secret anymore about the UN troops or what's happening in beautiful Northern California. You see, in 2001, Ed Homan cameraman and writer for Infowars.com, traveled there just last weekend. And this is what he caught on tape July 14th. The stage-managed protest being conducted by the local socialist with their communist publications, you name it. So criticize me for reporting the news and then engage in your own ceremony. That makes a lot of sense. The Bohemian Grove is a 2,700-acre redwood grove right outside the tiny town of Monterio. This July 14th, over 150 police, state and local, converged to protect the globalists from the local protesters. This is what happened on that day. Remember, this local group criticized us for reporting on the occult activities of the elite and then had the nerve to conduct their own occult ceremony. But first off, look at all the items on this table. The Communist Manifesto, the Communist League, a bunch of garbage controlled by the very bankers that are meeting inside the Bohemian Grove. Controlled opposition.
We're here and all the people who are just arriving on the buses from the Bay Area. And I want to make an announcement for anyone who is parked across the street. Anyone who's parked across the street at the theater, on the theater grounds, you need to move your car. If you're parked on the grounds of the theater across the street, you're in danger of being towed. So if you don't want to be towed, you need to move your vehicle from over there. Have a vehicle parked across the street? Okay, one more time.
This one is spread. We're all here in a circle of comradeship and purpose. So let's be safe. Let's be helpful. Let's take care of each other.
motorcycle.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, man.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, this rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey. This
camp has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. This rich man's camp has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
So, are you one of the Grovers?
I'm just here. Papers, I tell you that.
Maybe we should ask this officer here. You know, we're monitors, and we had hoped for everybody to be on one side of the
Right. Well, that's what we're trying to get you. So we have a traffic jam up here. If everybody can stay on that side.
Okay. You want us to go up there and maybe do it, or?
We're going to turn these people around. We're going to send back the other way. So you guys can have that side of the roadway.
Flower,
Your wallet, your watch. Pull it right here.
we may care, we shall resurrect it. Oranges, fruits.
Should I bring this water out and start handing them?
These guys were wearing communist outfits, black berets with red stars with Santeria or voodoo, mixed in with Mexican supremacist pictures of Pancho Villa. And to top it all off, people were giving offerings unto the gods. I mean,
What is the purpose of the offering for the altar? What is that?
Giving back to Mother, giving back to the earth. We just take, and consume. But today, we're asking everybody to give something back.
So this is to return something to the earth, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Since by doing so, we resurrect Karen.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Cool. I was alerted to very fancy cars standing in the side street here, and I walked up. The guy had his window down, and he had all kinds of fancy recording equipment on his seat next to him. And I held the microphone in, and I said, "Sir, we are curious about who you are. Would you please tell us who you are?" And he said, "Take your mic out of my car, lady, and step back." And I said, "Would you repeat that for broadcast?" And held it even closer. And that's all I could get out of him. And then he sort of tried to run over my toe. He turned his car around and disappeared in that direction. And people said he was on the bridge filming before. So he was somebody from the other side who was documenting this.
Right, the wrong side. Okay.
The wrong side, yes.
We don't want this cancer. We don't want this pollution. We don't want global warming. We don't want melting ice caps. We don't want sinking islands. Down with Bush. Down with Bush and his corporate swine. Greed has got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. This corporate greed has got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. This corporate greed.
I took that sign right there. Public road.
Hey, can I say something really obnoxious really quick, really first? There's a new anti-globalization bill for formation in Sonoma County, and so if you're interested, here's a sign-up sheet. Thank the cops.
Watch out for the poison ivy!
If you're a new ager, we call it medicine.
Yeah, you don't call it poison. Because we're not against people, it's people. I think that's my view. We're against the institutions that people rig up to. Look at this, is a parking lot here for this. This is the parking lot for this whole thing?
Just take a moment and kind of ground some of this amazing energy we've had today. Feel your feet on the ground and take a deep breath. And actually let yourself be present in this forest and present with these trees.
Well, that's
Grandmothers, grandfathers, these ancestors. And let yourself for a moment just feel the power of this actual place that existed long before the Bohos ever came here. Existed for thousands of years before white people walked on this continent. The roots of these trees essentially are immortal. And even though these trees may have been logged and regrown, they grow out of roots. They have never died. We can learn from that. As you take a deep breath, let your own energy push down roots and join those roots. And feel how they hold us. Those of us who are so fortunate to live with these ancient trees. They hold us and they teach us and they nurture us. And we draw strength from them every day. And take a deep breath and let yourself draw up some of that strength. Breathe it up into your living human body. Breathe out the possibility that we can learn to really live in balance again with these forests and these trees. Feel that power move all the way through your body and spin a circle around us in this place. Feel how our brothers over there in uniform, a lot of them are local people too. They live here. They know these forests. They know these trees. They know that their interests are more with us than they are with the men inside that grove. And we thank them for keeping a peaceful presence here. And if you feel grounded, if you feel present, again, open your eyes. Look around. Let's just spin a little circle of protection around all of us and around this place. And I'd like to honor the elements and honor the four directions. And I know that there's lots of you people here who honor the elements every day and live with the elements, who honor the earth, who have your own practice and your own tradition. So, do you feel moved to, I'd invite you to step forward and call in the air. Somebody. East, which is roughly that way.
Hail, guardians of the watchtowers of the East, spirits of air, spirits of changing winds, winds of change, be present here as we do this ritual. So mote it be.
How about fire?
I call upon the primal fires of transformation and creation, the shining face of the Father and the molten core of the Mother. In their sacred union we stand, sacred fires even now.
We had two men having a woman for water. Close.
our blood, moving through our body. Let us welcome you as we remember that we are one. Ho, spirits of the water.
Oh, spirits of the water.
Go deep inside ourselves and you to learn what we need to know in order to continue to be on the good road. May we not fear the dark place that we enter in order to learn from you, Mother Earth. Guardians of the North, be with us.
Paula in the center, and I ask Julie to keep stirring that cauldron. And to stir it clockwise, the direction of the sun. And to ask all of you to call out the things that we do care about. And as each person calls it out, we'll all repeat it. And to stir those in. Love.
Love.
Peace.
Beauty.
Justice.
Justice. Freedom. Passion.
Truth.
Truth. Equality.
Healing.
Nature.
Empowerment.
Beauty. Diversity.
Autonomy.
And faith. Compassion.
Power with and not over.
Power with and not over.
Power with.
Transformation.
Cultural transformation, yes.
Joy.
Water. Laughter.
Respect.
Revolution.
Children.
Wisdom. Elders. Wildlife. Redwoods. Youngers.
Universal. Peace officers.
Ancestors. Trees. The future.
Psychedelics.
Compassion. Justice. Empathy. Grizzly bears. Magic. Ceremony. Sensitivity.
Civil rights.
A little too freaky for my taste.
Yeah.
A little too religious.
This went on for literally hour after hour after hour. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a cauldron. That's exactly what you're looking at there. But the people at Waco were kooks and had to be dealt with, and Bill Clinton's a loving liberal, and Christians are bad and it needs to be out of the schools, but it's okay to teach Harry Potter and don't claim that it's witchcraft because witchcraft doesn't exist. Now, this is the same group that was very intolerant and publicly attacked my documentary film Dark Secrets in the newspapers and, of course, on syndicated radio programs. The Bohemian Grove Action Network put on this whole ceremony that you're witnessing on your screen. Now, all I did was go into the Bohemian Grove last year, catch world leaders engaging in an ancient Canaanite ceremony to which children were sacrificed in the Bible. That's the historical fact. I mean, they admit that that's the ceremony. And then this group criticizes me because you don't want people criticizing Bush on something of substance, especially something that you like, that you're engaging in. How did you come to fight the evil conservatives in their Luciferian camp with your white magic? And you may wonder why people criticize you for being involved in Wicca or paganism or any of this. It's because, as Anton LaVey says, you're on the outer rungs. You're being used. You're being manipulated. You're being deceived. Even if there's nothing spiritual in this universe, you're being controlled by controlling individuals in these cults that like to order your lives around. They're using mental mind control on you. And the reason these groups that you're members of have a bad name in modern history is because every pantheistic worldview, whether it was in ancient Europe or Latin America, from the Aztecs to the Gauls, engaged in human sacrifice, and you have revived that. You're out here with your witch's cauldron, with your pentagrams sketched on the ground, doing your cones of power, all of this Luciferian garbage, and you don't even know it. And you think you're anti-establishment when the big banks are funding this through the universities, through the culture, through the United Nations. You're not fighting the establishment. The evil bankers you hate so bad that you figured out are doing something that isn't too good for the earth are behind those gates, guarded by the Secret Service, doing the same thing you're doing right now. And they're old, evil white men, aren't they? And they manipulate you outside the gates. That's their power. They've totally got you where they want you. You're going to lobby to steal people's private property in the name of the earth. You're going to lobby to take people's cars. You're going to lobby for the green police. You're going to lobby for all the control, the disarmament of the American people. You're the ones out there selling the Communist Manifesto that we already showed that's killed 200 million people. You think you're cute when you reek and stench of death. Your paradigms have been managed. You've been manipulated. Now let's get to more of your out-of-control Luciferian ceremonies. Now, we have to be fair and point out that most of the people there were laymen. Of the 400 to 800 people, we're not sure. The numbers were very large. Let's just say over 400 people. You notice the witch and warlock, or the priest and priestess, they link arms right here and tell everybody to start marching in circles, and then this went on for a whole other hour as they conjure more spirits, and then suddenly you start hearing the names of Baal or Baal. Oh, one of Moloch's names in Babylon. I thought you're fighting them. Oh, no longer is it peace and diversity to suck in the crowd. New words, new names start getting called out. It gets very loving and liberal. It's very interesting that the people inside the grove, when I filmed their ceremony, talk to the god as male and female, both sides of the pantheistic ancient worldview. And they talk about the power and what she can change inside the owl before they burn the bound body. That's right. With the rise of your power since the 60s, the people's guns are being confiscated, the land's being taken, the police are wearing black uniforms and ski masks. She does touch things. She does change things. The UN stinks of death and blood, and it has the same religion that you're out pushing. Does it feel good to get loaded on the slave ships? Giggling happily. Face scanning cameras going up. You don't speak out against that. No, it's just all feels so good. Oh. You can keep doing your ghost dance if you want while the New World Order robs and rules over you, or you can get out of the deep deceit of the phony liberalism you've been involved in and realize that both political parties are controlled, that the world leader incredibly corrupt, and that you're being manipulated. Or maybe you can just stay in your communal slave bins. We'll see the old warlock with a long gray beard start swirling his hand and chanting. Again, bringing them into the flock. With songs of diversity at the start, now we get to hear the names of ancient demons. It must be pleasing for the 128-year revised and revived Canaanite cult inside the Grove to see their children doing so well and thinking all the time they're rebelling against their parents, the New World Order, channeling a rebellion. But remember, it's okay to have this in the public schools. You just can't have your Christianity in the schools. The atheists don't attack groups like this as they gain power and prominence, and the phony conservatives won't criticize Bush for being an open Satanist at the Bohemian Grove. Neither will the so-called liberals, because you're all on the same sick team. Think of the magnitude, controlling all the sides. Paradigm management. Shift your paradigm into reality. Information warfare is the key to defeat the New World Order.
Let's see that energy to its earth. This road that they're going to drive across. And do all the symbols we painted on it and into this water. And into the rib mass of these rib roots.
Now they're forcing their spiritual energy into the road to travel into the Grove. Well, I've been inside the Grove. I've seen the ancient Babylonian idol taken by barge 128 years ago through the Mediterranean, through the Atlantic, around the tip of Chile to Northern California up the Russian River. I'm sure it appreciates the energy you're sending it.
There's a little spell that we've been working since the election.
You mean the appointment?
That's right. Maybe you'll say it after me. It goes like this. Let power and resources flow. Let power and resources flow. To those who'll use them. To those who'll use them. For the good of the earth and her people. For the good of the earth and her people. And be withdrawn from those who won't. And be withdrawn from those who won't. Let's send that spell over into the
Boy, they've got real juju, don't they? She just said they cast her spell they've been working on since the election. Did you hear her? By the way, this entire time, the hundreds of protesters and, well, cultists have been blocking the highway so that world leaders couldn't get in. The Secret Service was very, very angry. They had ceremonies to conduct on their own. Not a lot of time to waste in the 15 days of revelry inside the camp.
Well, it's not working. Yeah, some of you weren't here at the beginning, but in that cauldron is water from sacred places and from political actions all around the world. There's water there from Seattle and from Quebec City. And
Chalice-Well and West.
Chalice-Well and other places people know of. The birthplace of Quetzalcoatl and Amatlan, Delphi, and from all the springs up in the Cazadero Hills. And from every continent on Earth. And I'm going to take some of it actually tomorrow to Genoa, to the protests there against the G8, and we're going to do some kind of cauldron ritual in the midst of it, which will be interesting. So.
Oh, look, she has the symbol for Time Warner on her chest. Oh, the corporate elite. Oh, they have your symbol. Oh, who are you working for, lady? Oh, you deceiving the young people? Oh, look at her loving symbol there on her chest, on the witch's chest. The Time Warner symbol of the Illuminati.
And let our spells soak into the very place they're going to have to pass through as they come in and out. Today is just the beginning. They'll be coming in and out for 2 weeks. The big guys come in next weekend. And so we'll let it sink in and grow and deepen as time goes on.
And they'll melt if they touch the water.
Yeah.
Is there going to be another demonstration here next weekend?
Not unless someone organizes it.
Let's all show up.
Yeah. So let's think about all those things we called in that we care about. And maybe just call them in. Not say goodbye to them really, but just call them in to remain here and keep their presence here. Just do it all together all at once.
Peace.
Justice.
Transformation.
Joy.
Justice.
Healing.
Mechanical trouble.
Equal rights. Diversity. Elders. Youngers.
Do you have a song?
No.
Oh, man, that's And those of you who called something in, would you like to say goodbye to it?
Spirits of the North, thank you for being here with us. Stay if you will, go if you must. Thank you.
Thank you, North. Thank you.
Spirits of the water, we leave you to soak into this ground and do your magic here and go with us in our bodies as we carry away. And for this moment, Let this circle leave this circle now. Hail and farewell.
By the fire is the bright spirit, and the heat that is his passion. Our inspiration springs eternal. Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell. Winds of change, spirits of the air, powers of the east. We have felt your presence here and would like for you to stick around and give a warm welcome to the folks who are coming here. But go if you must, and please stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell. And as we open this circle, let's hope that it's just the beginning of more and more circles and more connections. And especially, I'd love to see more of us doing some of our own political organizing here in Sonoma County.
Yes.
Yes. That's what that clipboard's all about.
So in the spirit of that, we have a clipboard and a sign-up sheet.
How's your Time Warner symbol doing, Witch? You're fighting the establishment, I see.
Work around globalization and other issues that we have here in Sonoma County. And also, I want to recommend to you, there's a listserv for DAN, the Direct Action Network. That is Dan SC, D-A-N-S-C, Dan Sonoma County at yahoogroups.com. You can.
Now, again, for any of you who taped this, go back through the chanting. You will hear the names of Baal, Anaman, just ancient names of demons in the Middle East. The same loving demons they're worshiping inside the grove at dusk. Just unbelievable. Totally deceived. Pushing for world government all the way in the name of stopping world government. Get your priorities straight, please. Now, the men you just saw in black uniforms are Sonoma County Sheriff's Department. They're the people that cover up the murder investigations for dead children around the Grove in the early 80s. They also run security inside the Grove. They work closely with the Secret Service. The men in the tan outfits, those are CHIPS, or California Highway Patrol. And past them down that road is the gates to the Bohemian Grove, and you've already been inside there and witnessed all of that. And you've seen the so-called left-wingers, they're so-called left-wingers, criticizing me in the newspaper for simply reporting on the occult activity, saying there's no such thing, and then they're engaging in their own. Now, what's their real agenda? Oh, my goodness. Just look at this scene. It's something right out of hell. Now the phony Christian, phony conservative, devil-worshipping world elite in their Mercedes can pull past since the crowd's gone after their little ceremony. And that makes a lot of sense.